Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Or later if that's when you watch. Because if you're here at 11 on YouTube, you're still sort of on time, right?
If you're here at 11, you'll see the last 10 minutes probably.
Well, that's true.
Well,
If you're here at 11:15, you're probably good. Okay, well, good morning and happy, very cold, wet Memorial Day weekend. And we'll start off with a song of gratitude, a good place to start. And we have some wonderful guests coming up this morning with Bob Sima and Shannon Plummer. So something very much to look forward to. And here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I was on the wrong notes.
Oh!
Yeah, you have to hit the right notes when you're playing piano.
1, 2, 3, and... I am so thankful for every blessed moment, and I live in gratitude. My heart is open, my spirit is rejoicing, and I live in gratitude. I give my thanks to God. 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 I am so thankful for every blessed moment, and I sing in gratitude. Sing in gratitude. My heart is open, my spirit is rejoicing, and I sing in gratitude. I give my thanks to God. 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 I am so thankful for every blessed moment, and I give in gratitude. Give in gratitude. My heart is open, my spirit is rejoicing, and I give in gratitude. I give my thanks to God. 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 And we do give our thanks to God, grateful to be here this morning, and we're going to be also grateful to welcome Dave Farrell up as our platform person, live and in person.
This Memorial Day weekend brings to mind a conversation I had with my grandson. A few years ago, he was 8 years old. He and I had gone to Dairy Queen for ice cream. And the inside of the Dairy Queen was, the motif was military aircraft. And so Eric kept looking at this, the walls at this, and he eventually turned to me and said, He said, Papa Dave, he said, was your father in World War II? And I said, he was. He was. And he said, did he survive? And I said, he did. He did. And then he looks at me, this 8-year-old boy, and says to me, Papa Dave, do I have to worry about World War III? Wow. Wow. A prayer for Memorial Day. In the quiet sanctities of our own hearts, let each of us join with the divine Spirit whose power we share. That power is great and gentle, forgiving, holy, and healing. You who created us, you who sustains us, who calls us to live in peace, join with us in prayer today. Hear our prayers for all who have died, whose hearts and hopes were put in harm's way. Hear our prayer for those who put the welfare of others ahead of their own. Hear our prayer for those who give their lives in service of others. Let us comfort those who grieve the loss of their loved ones, and let our healing be the hope of all our hearts. With us shape and make a new world where we will lay down arms for a harvest of justice and peace. Amen. Okay. So we have some announcements this morning. Let's see. No, one more thing before that. The affirmation for our new minister. So, okay. So together, we affirm that we are calling in and are ready to receive another wonderful minister who is heart-centered, wise, humorous, sincere, collaborative, and well-organized, and whose opening walks a spiritual path of growth, deepening consciousness, and love. And so it is. Okay. So our announcements for the day. Okay, here we are. So Bob Sima is with us today. We welcome him again. He was here several times, a few years ago. So we welcome him. We look forward to his message. And yes. Charlie Tweed is here next Sunday with music and message. There's a sidewalk chalk sale. It's chalk day on the 13th of June, which is a couple weeks. Saturday the 12th, not. Church in the Park at Thatcher again, Sunday, July 13th. We look forward to that. Oh, gee, July 11th. And our weekly meetings, the book study Monday, Heart to Heart Tuesday, Prayer Hour Thursday, and the fellowship hour, starting now, will be at 11:30 in the morning on Sunday instead of 12:30 because we moved the service. Okay. Yep. 11:30. And you can always follow us on social media and our website. And the prayer chaplains are always available to be of assistance. Online, or you can call or email us. Okay, the Daily Word. The Daily Word for Sunday, the 30th of May. Inner peace. Peace grows within me as I remain centered in God. Inner peace, the peace of God that my words can only begin to describe, does not depend on outer circumstances. Peace does not come from any external source. It arises from within me. At a place of consciousness, sometimes called the center of my being, peace, like the qualities of God, waits for me to recognize and claim it. I claim inner peace when I remember the truth of God's presence is always with me and within me. As I center my awareness in the divine presence within, peace soothes my feelings and restores order to my thoughts. I move through all circumstances with calm assurance. Peace grows within me as I remain centered in God. Every event in my day contributes to my calm sense of my soul, calm peace of my soul. And from Isaiah, those of steadfast mind you keep in peace because they trust in you. Okay. And I guess we have a song.
Here's a song, a hymn that just felt right for Memorial Day weekend. Especially for those of you who might be thinking about loved ones lost. So, a song of comfort. Taken, I believe, based on, looks like it's based on Psalm 23, I think. But here we go. 1 and 2. Whatever my God ordains is right, His holy will abides. I will be still whatever He does and follow where He guides. Sweet comfort, sweet comfort, yet shall fill my heart. Sweet comfort, sweet comfort, sorrow shall depart. Whatever my God ordains is right. She makes my feet to stand. Though sorrow lead or death be mine, she holds me in her hand. Sweet comfort, sweet comfort, yet shall fill my heart.
Thank you. Thank you, Carol, for that last note. It's beautiful. Come on up, Dave.
So again, welcome to Unity in Albany, whether you've been with us a long time or whether this is your first Sunday. You're always welcome here. We have open arms for all. And our vision and mission statements. Our vision statement, a world transformed through the spiritual awakening of all. And our mission statement, we awaken to and embrace the divine essence of all beings through prayer and service in our community and in the world. And the statement of oneness?
Core values.
You have core values, okay. And it's all about love. Our core values. We are a spirit-centered community. We warmly welcome all. We embrace diversity. We walk our talk with integrity. We are compassionate. We are joyful. We practice sacred service. We claim a spiritual abundance. Okay. And our statement of oneness. The power of Christ's love now releases me from any sense of separation from spirit or others. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, the all-loving goodness of God. Okay. So welcome Bob and Shannon. And they will be with us momentarily.
Good morning, Unity of Albany.
Good morning.
I'm Bob Sima.
And I'm Shannon Plummer.
Together we are
Where the light gets in.
And we're here to bring a little light into your world. Shannon's got a beautiful talk for you, and it's entitled The Cheapest Room in the House. And we're going to jump into that with the first song.
Fear is the cheapest room in the house. I like to see more love in your eyes. Fear is the coldest room with no doubt. I'd like to see more love in your eyes. Fear is a flame only your heart can blow out. I'd like to see more love in your eyes. 'Cause in your eyes the love will show, and the love expands everywhere you go, and it grows and grows as it goes out into the arms of a grateful world. Oh yeah, it's a grateful world. Greed is the oldest trick in the book. I like to see more flowing through your hand. Greed, she's a thief, steals every second that you've got. I'd like to see more flowing through your hand. Greed, she will bleed you, and she will suffocate and tease you. I'd like to see more flowing through your hand.
never ends, it goes on and on into the arms of a grateful world. Oh, my brothers and sisters, it's a grateful world. Come with me, together we'll go to see the friend. I'd like to see you taste some of her medicine. Come with me, we'll lay a prayer out on the wind. I'd like to see you taste some of her medicine. Come with me, we'll lay a kiss down on the land. I'd like to see you taste some of her medicine. Well, I can't be sure, but somehow I know that every prayer, well, it's paid in full. 'Cause every heart touches every soul in the everlasting arms of a grateful world. Oh, my brothers and sisters, it's a grateful world. I'd like to see more love. I'd like to see more love. I'd like to see more love in your eyes. Come on, sing it with us. I'd like to see more love. I'd like to see more love. I'd like to see more love in your eyes. I'd like to see you flowing. I'd like to see more flowing. I'd like to see more flowing through your hands. Sing it with us. I'd like to see more flowing. I'd like to see more flowing. I'd like to see more flowing through your hands. Yeah. I'd like to see you taste. I'd like to see you taste. I'd like to see you taste some of this medicine. I'd like to see you taste. I'd like to see you taste. I'd like to see you taste some of this medicine. Fear is the cheapest room in the house. I'd like to see more love in your eyes. Fear is the coldest room with no doubt. And I'd like to see more love in your eyes. Fear is a flame only your heart can blow out. And I'd like to see more love in your eyes.
Fear is the cheapest room in the house. I would like to see you living in better conditions, for your mother and my mother were friends. This is a quote by the 14th century Persian poet Hafiz. And though this prose continues for several verses, the opening line is the subject of what we are going to talk about today. And it all starts with fear. Where does fear begin and where does it end? Fear is a basic human function that originates as a feeling, turns into an emotion, and creates a response in our primitive brain that affects one of three physical reactions: fight, flight, or freeze. And actually, now they say fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. But what do we really know about fear? With over 100 documented scientific studies that have attempted to define how the body reacts to fear, scientists are still unable to understand, describe, or quantify fear itself. So, the question is, how does fear begin and how does it end? So, in my own personal definitions of the universal truths, I refer back to the Aramaic word that was introduced to me by Dale Allen Hoffman. That word is rucha. That word is associated with the concept of breath. Now, I deliberately say the concept of breath rather than state that rucha means breath. That one word, rucha, is more than just one thing. It represents something that you can detect its presence, but you cannot find its source. You can detect its presence, but you cannot find its source. Dale often uses examples of breath, electricity, and magnetism to relate the concept of rucha. In our workshops and retreats, I often go another step further and bring in those elements that we know exist, but we can neither identify the originating source nor find their completion. I use the phrase universal truths to categorize things like love, joy, peace, balance, perfection, soul, spirit. And those things that when we really try to describe them, we are unable to clearly define or rationalize for our logical brain. They're concepts that become an experience, just like rucha. I don't believe fear belongs in that category. Though we often have to dig into our subconscious for the origins, we are able to track back to the source of our fears, the beginning. With awareness and commitment to ourselves, we're able to overcome our fears. The end. I believe that fear is a human construct designed for survival. A human construct designed for survival, period. It was not intended to drive us or motivate us beyond the moment we absolutely need it to escape from literal death. Therefore, it does not equate to any of those other universal truths. Yet our human brain often uses memories and limiting beliefs to create a perceived threat that appears to be truth. Fear. False evidence appearing real. We've all heard that before. So I am going to today invite us to a new acronym for fear. Face everything and respond. Which takes us back to Hafiz. Fear is the cheapest. Cheap. What does cheap mean? Of little or no value. So what value does fear bring to us? It is a wonderful, primal, automated response when we are in danger. Yet, how often are we truly in danger for our survival? Humans are not yet an endangered species. We have populated all of the easily habitable spaces on Earth, Yet our collective thoughts, our collective actions, our collective consciousness are often fueled and running on fear. Fear is the cheapest room. Room. A clearly defined space within a larger defined space. How often do we allow a series of imagined events playing in our storied mind to lead us down a rabbit hole right into this cheap room, the cheapest room, according to Hafiz? Our imaginations can be magnanimously and incomprehensibly active. Our free will to focus our attention and our imagination on whatever we choose creates our reality. So if we focus on something while we are lounging in the cheapest room of fear, everything appears to be very, very daunting. The unknown, the unseen, the undeveloped, the unspoken, the uncharacterized, they're all tainted with fight, flight, or freeze reactions before they actually happen. Fear is the cheapest room in the house. House. A place inhabited for protection. So what does your house look like? And I'm not talking about the physical, structured house that you call your home. Your spiritual house. What does it look like? How much time do you spend designing your house? Adding new rooms, expanding your consciousness. When you add rooms, are they cheap? Do you afford your beautiful imagination the limitless possibilities that are within you as you, without worry and without fear? Maria Robinson said, "Nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending." To that, anyone can start today and redesign or renovate their house. Find the rooms that need updated. Find the rooms that need a makeover. Find the rooms that need love. Don't try to demolish them. Simply spend the time to transform them into a lavishly expensive, lavishly expansive room. Fear is the cheapest room in the house. I would like to see you living in better conditions. Conditions. The state of something that will support one's well-being. What conditions do you create in your house? What state of being do you carry in this meat suit we call a human body? Some describe it as the soul's temple. Well, yes, it is a temple. We owe our soul the best conditions for limitless growth on all levels. We owe our brothers and sisters the best conditions for limitless growth on all levels. We have the ability to create those conditions. Fear is the cheapest room in the house. I would like to see you living in better conditions for your mother and my mother. We're friends. Your mother and my mother. The divine feminine connection. In most spiritual paths, the feminine is the energy of creation. She is not the creator, but creativity itself. Creativity and concepts that inspire the masculine energies to outwardly create the next iteration of creation. We are in the masculine physical form as the creators of our own experience. yet we're fueled by the feminine conceptual form as creativity, by your mother and my mother, by the nurturing, caring, maternal energies of the universe. To what extent are you honoring your mother? To what extent are you honoring your creativity? To what extent are you honoring the divine's creativity in your spiritual house? So I would like to invite you into a meditation. And as we sit, we allow ourselves to sink into our chair beneath us. We uncross our legs, uncross our arms. Find a comfortable position, the perfect position for you to enter a contemplative space. I invite you to stretch your spinal cord to allow that channel to be open for energy to flow. If you haven't already, simply close your eyes, lower your eyelids, soften your gaze, and give yourself permission to enter that space of creativity. Feel that creative energy force moving through you. And focus your attention on your breath. As you inhale, imagine a stream of white light entering the top of your head, traveling down your spinal cord, filling your heart, traveling further down your spinal column. And as you exhale, allowing that white light to continue to your feet and extend the entire way to the core of the earth. That white light is your information highway. And that highway connects creativity with creation. Your mother and my mother. I invite you to enter that spiritual house, your spiritual house. As you move through the rooms, inspect the rooms. Find the cheap rooms where fear sits. And open your arms. Move a step closer to that fear that is occupying that space. And imagine that white light of divine creativity flowing from your heart, through your arms, out your fingertips. Infuse each cheap room with love. And watch each fear transmute into higher vibration. Watch that fear transmute into a frequency that you can begin to use for spiritual renovations. Allow yourself to remodel, to renovate, to do some maintenance in your spiritual house. Connect with that divine creative energy.
Bring your heart to me. Lay it out on your sleeve. Bring your heart to me. 'Cause everything good and everything delicious comes from a heart totally committed. Bring your heart to me. Bring your love to me. Bring your love to me. Let it be all you speak. Bring your love to me. In every word, in every smile, in every breath like a newborn child. Bring your love to me. Bring, 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 bring. Bring your fears to me. Bring your fears to me. We'll lay them down at our feet. Bring your fears to me. We'll set them down, just you and I, and watch them burn up to the sky. Bring your fears to me. Bring yourself to me. Bring yourself to me. Bring your all, your everything. Bring yourself to me. Every scar, every way you bleed, let me know you authentically. Bring yourself to me. Bring, 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 bring. Bring your heart to me. Bring your heart to me. Drop the chains, release the guards. Bring your heart to me. Bring your love, bring your fears, bring yourself, bring everything. Bring, 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 bring. Bring your heart to me. Bring your heart to me. Bring your heart to me. Bring.
So as you stay in that contemplative space and reacquaint yourself with your breath, imagine that white light pathway of divine creativity infusing your body with inspiration. Feel inspired to revisit your spiritual home. Feel inspired to spruce up your old rooms and bring new potential. Feel inspired to create new rooms on the foundations that you have already built. Feel motivated to become the master creator using love as your expression. I I invite you to pull the white light from the core of the earth up through your body and release it back into the cosmos, knowing that you can invite it back anytime. You can recreate that information highway and revisit your spiritual home, your spiritual rooms, anytime you wish. With your next inhale, I invite you to wiggle your toes and wiggle your fingers. Feel the seat under you. And I invite you to take 3 grounding breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling with an H. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling with a ha, ha. Inhaling through your nose. And exhaling with a big sigh. Anchoring back into the room, into the space, into the chair, the seat that you find yourself in, and back into this beloved space that we have created together. I mentioned love throughout the meditation. We often think that hate is the opposite of love. In reality, fear is the opposite of love. We don't hate because we don't love. We hate because we fear. We fear something in ourselves that might be exposed when it is triggered by or uncomfortable with or unaccepting of another or of a situation. We hurt from our hurt, and we fear from our worst. When we look with curiosity rather than judgment or blame or shame, we can uncover our fears. Uncover means just that, uncover. What we choose to do after the reveal is part of our spiritual progress. It may take a few visits to the house to observe the fear cowering in the corner of its room before we find the wisdom within us to address it and heal the wound. Or we may have to kick down the door. We may have to kick down the door on that room and watch it dancing around in the center of the room, taunting us, daring us to move closer. Wherever the fear lies on the spectrum, there's always an opportunity for healing if and when we are ready. Facing fears fosters faith. Facing fears fosters faith. This is allegorically and poetically described in Canto 1 of Dante's Inferno. How first I entered on that path astray, beset with sleep, I know not. This I know. When gained my feet the upward lighted way, I backward gazed, as one the drowning sea, the deep strong tides has baffled, and panting lies on the shelved shore, and turns his eyes to see the league-wide wastes that held him. So mine eyes surveyed that fear, the while my wearied frame rested, and ever my heart's tossed lake became more quiet. Then from that pass released, which yet with living feet had no man left, I set my forward steps aslant the steep, that so, my right foot still the lower, I climbed. Facing fears fosters faith. faith to recognize when we feel led astray and disconnected from ourselves and the world. Faith to know we will always find the lighted path. Faith to look backward and release the fears that hold us hostage in our own growth. Faith to stare down the fear, the ghosts that used to haunt us. Faith to surrender into a new self, rested and relieved of the wound. Faith to reach upward and continue to climb. We can no longer live in the cheapest room of the house when we are empowered by love rather than fear. That is when we find our voice and we begin to share our story. That is when what seemed to be such an obstacle becomes quite small. Fear is the only thing that shrinks the closer and closer we get to it. The empowerment that we cultivate as it becomes less significant in having its way with us brings a new awareness. First, we realize the insignificance of the fear, even though we previously thought it was something we would never get through. Second, we realize the significance of the fear on the path to our realization of a new self that is closer to the universal love than ever before. Fear surely is an insignificant something. It was everything, yet becomes nothing. Does that make us everything and nothing? Are we insignificant somethings?
I won't lie, I love to cry. I got a raging river inside, but my mind doesn't know when to let my heart go, and my soul won't let me hide. I'm a dreamer, I'm kind of lazy, but I call my crazy crazy. I'm a wreck, I'm a wreck, I'm a holy, holy mess, but I'm sacredly awake. And I'm not here because it's home. I'm not lost and I know I'm not alone, 'cause I see it in your eyes and I see it in the stars and I see it everywhere, that the same thing that pains me, well, it pains you. What if we are everything and we're nothing? Are we insignificant somethings? Are we hardly innocent, purely magnificent pieces of the one thing? And we rise and we fall, and we run, then we walk, then we crawl. Well, we might not have it all together, but together we have it all. And I see you in me, and me in you. And the lines get crossed and blurry, and I worry, and I get so confused, because we hurt from our hurt, and we fear from our worst, and we love from the love that we won't drink of. It's an endless, bottomless thirst, and I have found that it matters that the past has passed. And if you dare to let it go and you stare down the ghost, well, the ghost stops staring back. And the same thing that pains me, well, it pains you. What if we are everything and we're nothing? Are we insignificant somethings? Are we hardly innocent, purely magnificent pieces of the one thing? And we rise and we fall, and we run, then we walk, then we crawl. Well, we might not have it all together, but together we have There's a seen and there is the unseen. When you gaze in the mirror, will it ever get clearer? Can you wake up from this dream that there are lies before your eyes? We're all wrapped up in a disguise. Well, the truth needs no proof, and it goes by many names and many languages and many faiths. Stop seeking, you're seeking you. And be still and you know that it's true. If you don't believe it, there's a man by the river with a bucket of water to sell to you. And the same thing that pains me, well, it pains you. What if we are everything and we're nothing? Are we insignificant somethings? Are we hardly innocent, purely magnificent pieces of the one thing? And we rise and we fall, and we run, then we walk, then we crawl. Well, we might not have it all together, but together we have it all.
Thank you, Shannon and Bob. Wow, you guys are amazing. Hope you all enjoyed that as much as we did. And share it. Share it with other people. It's a wonderful message and very inspiring. It'll be up on our website. Probably by this afternoon I'll put it up on unityalbany.org, but you can direct people to the YouTube channel, of course. And it's our offering time, so want to be grateful for all that we have and give and are able to offer. I want to encourage you to give to that which you are fed by. It didn't sound like great English, but what's feeding you? Give there. And hopefully Unity Church in Albany is feeding you. And I think Bob and Shannon, I would recommend that you go to bobsima.com. When you do, you'll find out their new URL is wherethelightgetsin.us, which is very clever, where the light gets in us. But you can just use bobsima.com to get there. And you'll see a donate button there, and make a donation. Thank them for their offering today. So let's, with that in mind, say together our offering blessing. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We are blessed to know that Spirit is our source. Thank you, Father, Mother, God. And so it is. And though Bob and Shannon pre-recorded that for us, they might well be joining in with the fellowship hour today, which is at 11:30 this week, 1 hour earlier than normal, and we'll continue that way for the summer. So pop in yourself and say hi. We have now a blessing for our children, for the youth. Invite you to bring to mind the youth in your world, in your hearts, and hold them before you in your mind's eye. Maybe they're sitting before you in your living room. I don't know. And we'll say to them this blessing. Together, God loves you and accepts you just the way you are. And I love you and accept you just the way you are. I behold the Christ you are. And in the silence, allow them to say that back. Thank you, children. And so it is. And we have as well our prayer for protection, which I don't know, seems seems sort of apropos Memorial Day as well somehow. I think this prayer has been taken by soldiers into combat in the past. So let's say it together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen. I invite Pete and Carol and Gerri to come back up. We'll do a song to close off this morning, a familiar one. And hope you'll join us at home and just release it all if you can. Do what you can this morning. Release the fear. Release what is holding you down. Here we go.
There was a time in my life, thought I'd have to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. I release and I let go. I let Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God.
Thank you for being here with us this morning and here for God as well, here for love, here for freedom from fear. Have a blessed week. We wish you all the best and have a wonderful Memorial Day. Peace.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.